All right, good evening, everybody. Just give me a minute or two. I just finished one lecture and I think I need to get myself hydrated. Just give me a sec. All right, good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
How is everybody doing?
Tired?
This sir missed the class on Monday, as somebody had told her that I didn't have the internet.
Yes, I was told. You saw the recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So persons who missed the class on Monday can just do a recap. All right, so in our last lecture, can you remind me what we were looking at in the last lecture? Just remind me. Can anybody remind me what we were looking at in the last lecture? I'm listening. Hello, what were we looking at in the last lecture? I am listening, people, and I'm not moving on until I hear you talking to me. What were we discussing in the last lecture? Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I will say from what I heard because I was on the road traveling. But we were discussing about, I know you were talking about writing and how we write as it relates to we speaking, how we talk, like the patois, and then when we try to write is a difficult situation in writing because of the language that we talk. I know I heard that part of it. And you mentioned about writing, I'm trying to remember the correct word to use, as it relates to essay writing. And you were saying that it's not just for your class that we should display this skill that we learn, but for every subject area. I remember that much.
Yes, anybody else? Thanks for that, Miss Harris.
We
We
so it
started
was basically
off by
academic writing.
Mm-hmm.
You asked us for the definition. You were explaining to us how we should write or essays and for each course and so on.
Okay, thanks, Miss Patterson. Miss Bailey, Shanette, you were saying?
Sir, we also looked on a job application, make the necessary corrections.
Mm-hmm.
We were also discussing your place in ongoing conversations and changing rules it's the same continuation. We were looking at your changing rules in ongoing conversation.
Mm-hmm. In the
And
academy.
joining an academic conversation as well.
Right. All right, thanks for that, Miss Bailey. So we continue today. Well, I think that was lecture 2. No, we'd have moved on from lecture 2 and probably gone on to lecture 3. Lectures, let me just double check.
Sir, you had asked us to do an activity in the last also about to who we write, why we write, and what we hope to accomplish.
Right, and I'd looked at, and persons were, right, so you were looking at your narrow topic and your thesis, and it was to help you know to, or your task was to say to me to whom you're writing and why you're writing to this particular audience, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to share a screen. I'm not sure if this was the lecture I was going through, but let's see. I am sure we passed this. I think I know where we might have stopped. Today's when, Tuesday? No, Wednesday.
Wednesday, sir.
All right, so we would have passed that part.
So you send these slides to the Canvas so we can download those?
No, I don't send, these are not Excel lectures, so I don't have to email them, and I'm not going to email them.
Okay.
I think we had looked at this. Was it this class we were looking at the Siaga article? No.
No, sir.
All right, so tell me, let me go back to the beginning, because I know we had started this lecture, but I just want you to tell me where we stopped. That's what I don't remember. All right, so I'm sure we had looked at this, right?
Yes, so you did mention something about some expository. I think you were showing something like that.
Right. We had talked about Edna and the four main types of writing, and that the paper, the essay that you're writing or the paper that you're working on is expository in nature, right?
Yes, sir.
Touched on it last week.
All right, give me one sec. All right, so I just remember where we stopped now. Some persons did share about the purpose of their paper, and then I think there were about 2 or so groups that did not present. I actually went back and looked at the recording because I was getting too many mixed messages. Let me see if I can find the group listing. I hope I didn't. Which group did not present? Does anybody? Because for the class activity. Yes?
Got her topic late, so I'm just in the process of putting the pieces together so that I can present it. But
Well, I'm
present it-
talking about the persons who were at the last class.
Okay.
Avril, did you present in the last class with your group?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. Carla Buckle, did you present with your group?
No, sir. Just give me a minute to bring up the file.
So I'm not going any further until you present. All right, Carla. So if you take forever to bring it up, we will wait on you. So I'm going to wait on you. I'm going to begin with you.
All right. Just pardon the highlights for me. I'm trying to remove them. And I just place them down here just because we are working in class. So I placed at the bottom of the reference. I know that's it's where it's supposed to be. Sir,
I'm listening.
are you seeing?
Yes, I am.
So to whom are we writing?
Hold on, you have to hold on. You have to go back at the top. How do we know your broad topic and all of
Oh,
that? You have to go
okay.
back there.
All right, here we go.
All right, we're listening.
So the broad topic is health education. Norwood's topic, how to prevent a heart attack. And the question, what are some ways to prevent heart attack? So we're speaking to persons with comorbidities. And what do we hope to accomplish? A change in behavior. Persons will break old habits and replace them with replace them with healthy alternatives. Why are we writing? To bring about awareness of the risks associated with heart attack and the ways in which it can be prevented. And this is from me and Janelle Sutherland.
All right, go back to the top for me, please. Remind me about to whom you're writing.
Persons with comorbidities.
Is that how the word is pronounced? I'm almost sure that's not the pronunciation I know because I taught the nurses for quite some time. I think it's called commorbidities.
It's comorbidities.
Thank you.
Spell it for me.
It's comorbidities.
Spell it for me, please.
C-O. Must be M-O-R-B-I-L-I-T.
It can't be Mossy. It can't be. I'm asking you for the spelling.
Let me get the proper spelling.
C-O-M-O-B-I.
That's the correct spelling, yes, sir.
Hold on. Listen, please. Hold on. One person talk for me. Just spell the word for me, please.
C-O-M-O-R-B-I-D-I-T-I-E-S.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Comorbidities. All right. Hold on. Pronounce. Let me just see how they pronounce it. This is
Comorbidities, sir.
Please, just listen, please. Just hold on, please. All right.
And sell more stuff with a smart marketing platform. We are looking at how to pronounce this word, as well as how to say more interesting and related words in English. So make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing for more learning in British English, because the American pronunciation is slightly different. This is said as comorbidity. You do want to stress on the first syllable. Comorbidities in American English, however, it is usually pronounced as comorbidities. Comorbidities in American English versus comorbidities in British English. Did you?
All right, so comorbidities. Just wanted to, because I know I was hearing something other than what I'm used to, because I have had students who have written on this particular subject matter. All right, go back to the top, because you say your audience are persons with comorbidities. Go back up for me. So who are persons with comorbidities? Who are these persons? Who are the persons with comorbidities? Define that term for us.
Person with 2 or more illness or 2 or more.
Persons with 2 or more.
2 or more chronic illnesses.
So why are they the target? Why are you targeting them? Why are they the target of the focus of your paper?
Because we believe that these are persons who are most at risk based on their age and
so it's comorbidities age
have.
specific?
No, sir.
But you just said that, so I'm asking you.
That's one of the reasons.
All right, hold on. Let me define something. Let me look up something, because you see, when I'm marking your paper, this is the kind of investigation I do. Because when you say it one thing to me, and as I said to you, I used to teach these nurses, and trust me, I remember those papers. After disease and medical conditions. Right, and I'm asking, why are you targeting persons? Is it that persons who are comorbid, quote unquote?
They have a chance of getting a heart attack.
A heart attack? Then, all right, so let me look at your, but does the subclaim, for example, the subclaims in your thesis, it doesn't seem as if you're speaking to those persons though, keeping diabetes under control, because you say that persons' comorbidities or comorbidity means the simultaneous presence of 2 or more diseases. So it sounds as if you're not, it doesn't seem you're talking to sick people. It seems as if you're talking to persons who are not sick. I don't know if the class is seeing what I'm seeing. Based on your thesis, you said keeping diabetes under control, maintaining a healthy body weight, and reducing the consumption of alcohol. That doesn't sound as people who have 2 or more illnesses, chronic illnesses. I don't know if you see what I'm saying. If you say that the audience are persons, comorbidity patients, but the thesis doesn't reflect that, because it says keeping diabetes under control.
But
So
persons with diabetes, sir, those persons come under that umbrella of people who are being considered as being comorbidities, and persons who are obese. Yes, persons who struggle with alcohol addiction and stuff.
but persons who are obese, maintaining a healthy body weight, them already obese. So is it that you're saying that they should try to get their weight under control?
Well, I guess we have to do some adjustment to our.
It's not a matter of adjustment. What I want is for you to understand who you're writing to. So I'm saying you are saying to me that the audience members are persons, comorbid patients, my word, comorbid patients, right? And I'm saying to you that when I look at your thesis, I don't get a sense that you're speaking to persons who are already ill. It sounds as if you're talking to persons who we are trying to say, in order to not get a heart attack and to, don't do these things. So keeping diabetes under control suggests, okay, so here comes now, you kind of answer my question. So keeping diabetes under control means that these persons already have diabetes, but they just need to keep it under control. That's what you're saying, right?
Right.
Maintaining a healthy body weight. Are you saying that these persons are already fat or overweight already, or you're talking to persons who are not overweight?
Well, sir, what you have to bear in mind is that we did this actually in reverse. So what we did, we already have established these of the topic settings before you gave us the second part or the third part to do. So we actually work in reverse. Now that we're having this conversation now, we can go back and alter in order to accommodate the changes.
Well, it's not what I'm saying, but as you go along, you are supposed to make changes to your paper. That's why I'm asking you questions. So when I give you work to do, nothing is wrong if you make changes to one of your subclaims or some of it's just that you need to run it by me. But what I want for you to do, and this is for everybody in the class, is to intimately and intelligently talk about your paper. So you're not just writing a paper because Mr. Clark gave you a paper, but you actually understand what you're doing. So you'd have done some amount of reading. And this is why I've sent you to go and consult sources before I ask you to do this particular activity, so that you have a general sense of what the paper is about. I know I kind of am rough with you guys as opposed to the other group, but I should have asked those questions to the other persons, because it is important for the other round of activities that we're going to do in terms of developing the paper. Because now I'm going to teach you how to what is called source analysis. In other words, take one of your sources and kind of talk to me about how you're going to actually use it in the paper. All right. Scroll down for me. Let me see one of your topic sentence with this supporting evidence. All right, so the first one needs another sentence. A needs another sentence because I don't see the link between the heart disease and the stroke and the prevention of the heart attack. All you have done is to give us statistical data about heart disease and stroke killing people. You see what I mean? But there's no link to the notion of preventing a heart attack. I don't see that yet. Let me see the second one. If you scroll that fast, I'm not going to be able to read it now.
Oh, I thought you meant the second one not be. I thought you meant second not be. Sorry.
C, let me see C. I read B already.
Okay.
All right, so not bad at all, but the first one I think is the weakest point in your paper. I think A is a little bit weak in terms of the link. Well, it's not that it's weak, it's just that it's not clear. It's not clear.
Okay, so we'll go back to the drawing board on that one.
All right, yeah. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. And I see some real work being done in that paper. All right, I know I sounded a little bit hard on you, but you're actually doing some really good work in the paper. I can see that. Evidence of research and all of that. I recommend too that you talk to like a medical doctor too and some nurses, all right? Just for your own knowledge, so that when because you're really writing a medical paper and you want to ensure that the science behind the paper is correct, all right? So kudos to you guys, you're doing some serious work. Chantal Patterson, did you present in the last class? You and your group?
No, sir, we didn't.
All right, go ahead for me.
Hold on. I would have to ask Keisha to share because she has the notes.
Is Nikisha in the class?
Keisha, yes.
Oh, Rakisha, okay. All right, so talk to me. So you have to go back to the top. Good evening. It's 8 o'clock, it's 9. Talk to us.
Broad topic, workplace safety. Narrow topic, ways in which site managers can prevent accidents on a work site. Question, what are some ways in which site managers can prevent accidents on a work site? Answer, there are several ways in which site managers can prevent accidents on a work site. These is maintaining equipment and tools, adhering to safety protocols, and providing safety training for all employees are several ways in which site managers can prevent accidents on a work site. To whom are we writing? We're writing to site managers. Why are we writing? Writing to educate and inform site managers on how to prevent accidents on our work site.
And to maintain general safety among the people they supervise. And to maintain general safety among the people they supervise, so that when you're writing the actual paper, even your supporting evidence, it should reflect that.
Okay. Sorry. What are we open to accomplish? We are open to assist site managers to accomplish a safe work environment, prevent fewer accidents, and reinforce clear procedure and accountability, thus enhancing discipline amongst employees.
Is it prevent fewer accidents, or you want them to? Is it prevent fewer accidents? It sounds odd. Let me think. Is it prevent fewer accidents?
Sure. A lot of accidents happen and even deaths. So, sir, we're trying to prevent it. We can't stop it.
No, it's not. It's not. They prevent. You have prevent fewer accidents. I don't know if you want to prevent or to reduce accidents by, you want to reduce accidents by at least 50% or something like that. It just sounds strange to prevent fewer accidents.
Okay, sir.
It sounds a little bit strange. Roberta, you're in this group. I see your hand is raised.
Not in that group, sir, but you said we were to assist with critiquing, right?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so when you said like reduce it by 50% or so, sir, isn't it the case we are going to be opening up for statistic to say that it was at X and you cut it down to 50%, which is now X or below X? So you will have to be doing so.
So I said 50% because of the phrasing, but remember, if the purpose is to educate them about how to prevent accidents, right, and to maintain general safety, then it means in your evidence you would have actually cited at least one instance or two instances where site managers were able to, based on, go back to the top of your paper, let me just look on what you're doing, where site managers were able to operate in a safe workplace because of the kinds of things that they did to prevent accidents. So you might say, for example, in a study done in New Zealand in 2019, site managers were able to prevent or to reduce accidents by 50% when they train their staffs about how to properly operate machines or tractor trailers. Is what I mean?
Okay, sir, point taken.
Right. So that's why.
Yes, sir.
In other words, a specific example in this paper, you have to pull on specific examples to say, okay, this is what site managers can do, because remember, I know it's a can prevent. This is what site managers can do to prevent accidents, because it was done it was done in New Zealand, it was done in the Caribbean, it was done here, it was done there, it was done when they were able to maintain their equipment, it was done when they were able to adhere to safety protocols. So you're going to actually cite specific examples. All right. So that's why even by reducing accidents by at least 50%. So if 4 people died last year, it means that 2 lives would have been spared. Because you know accidents will happen, but how are you able to mitigate or to reduce the damage, especially the loss of life? All right, but that's a very good question. Very, very good question. It means that you're thinking. All right, Rakisha, anything else?
Not yet, sir. We're developing our case, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Again, I like this paper and I see some serious work being done.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
I'm very proud of this class. You guys are really doing some serious work. I wish I'm not really getting that from the other class. I hope they can't hear this. I get better quality work from this class than that class. Davia Lawrence and group, did you share in the last lecture? Davia Lawrence, are you there?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, did you and your group present?
Yes, sir.
Is that a yes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, thanks. Georgia, did you and your group present in the last lecture?
Yes, sir, we did.
All right, I think I remember you guys presenting for real. Janelle Johnson, did you and your group present?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Emmanuel presented.
Okay, all right, thanks. Jason, did you and your group present?
Sir, I'm not sure if you heard what Janelle was saying, but she's saying that, yes, we presented, however, we never have all the sources and you had asked us to write the sources and then you look back at the paper.
All right, does she want to reshare then? Go ahead if you want to reshare so I can look at it.
Okay. Sir, are you seeing the paper?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, seeing it. Just give me 1 sec. I need to capture something very quickly. Just give me 1 sec. This is. Anybody watch the football match? Or you guys don't watch?
Sir, which one? The one with
Jamaica, of course.
Yes, sir. So you know, so them could have win?
Yeah, because there's a goal that the guy could have scored and it didn't, it didn't go our way. I was
Well,
like,
sir, at least wouldn't walk away with 0.
well, true. That's I'm trying to actually find this Ravel Morrison's quote here because I could actually use it. So why am I not finding it?
So when Court Door stop feeling like he's obligated, then I start watching Bad Reggae Boys.
So he says makes no sense to sack Tapper, but I'm not finding it on. I'm finding it when Nation writing, but I want to find it under him. Well, let me go back to the top. Oh, memento, people! I'm trying to find this thing. Oh God, I'm not seeing it. I hope he didn't remove it because sometimes people tweet things and then because people complain, then take it down. That's disappointing to come away with. Oh, he was replying to. Was he replying to somebody? Lord. All right, I guess I'll find it. I think he replied to somebody. Okay, yeah, this I didn't know. I could have used this. Okay, this is smart. Then I can actually, 1 sec, people. I'm learning some tricks here. So I'm not using the teaching time to to do other things. I am see how best we can incorporate it. I hear a lot of people very silent. It's as if you guys don't watch the football. You don't watch football much. My God, we need you guys to watch. Image saved. You need to support us.
You never hear my feedback. You never hear my feedback, sir.
What was the feedback? I didn't hear any sound from you, man. What was the feedback?
I'm saying I will not be watching the matches until Coach Whitmore stop feeling like Jamaica is obligated to him for him to continuously be the coach.
Okay, there you go. That's a sentiment being expressed by a very patriotic Jamaican about Jamaican football. Anyways, let's get back to the lecture. I didn't get to see the match because I'm in Canada, so it's very difficult. I'd like to watch it live, but I wasn't able to. All right, go ahead, Miss Emmanuel. We detour. Let's get back to business. Miss Emmanuel.
Yes, sir. I was talking with the mic mute. I didn't realize. So I was saying that you looked at the last part as to who we write. You looked
No,
at.
so you're gonna start. Walk me through everything again. No.
Okay, so our broad topic is training and development. Narrow topic, reasons for training and development in the workplace. Question, what are reasons for training and development?
Go to the thesis. Go to the thesis.
All right, so.
Thesis. We need to see the thesis. Thesis, yes, go ahead.
Increasing employee motivation, improving staff performance, and reducing employee turnover are several reasons for training and development in the workplace. So these are our supporting evidence.
No, but you need to talk to us about to whom you're writing. Answer those questions for me before you go to the evidence.
Writing?
Yeah, before you go to the evidence. Before you go to the
those are
evidence.
Those are on a different paper. Give me a second. All right. So to whom we write, human resource manager, while writing to increase staff motivations through training and development. What we hope to accomplish for all staff in the public sector and private sector to be equipped to deal with any changes such as technology that will assist in improving their skills set to contributing to the success of the company.
Say that again.
For all staff in the public sector and the private sector to be.
Oh, hold on. I can't see. Scroll up for me because I need to be able to see a thesis while you're talking to me. Go back to the top for me.
They're on two different pages. So
no man, go back to the top of the page, all the way to the top.
This is the thesis. You want to see the
I need to see broad topic. Go back to the top. Yes. Talk to me now. That's how I can understand it.
Okay, broad topic, training and development. Narrow topic, reasons for training and development in the workplace. And the question is, what are the reasons for training and development in the workplace? So we're back to this now. To whom we write, human resource manager, we're writing to increase staff motivations through training and development. What we hope to accomplish for our staff in the public sector and the private sector to be equipped to deal with any changes such as technology that will assist in improving their skill set to contributing to the success of the company.
So start answering the questions now for me. Thank you.
Start doing what?
Answer the questions, who you're writing to and all of that.
We're writing to the human resource manager.
So hold on, you're asking me or you're telling me? Remember, I gave you a list. We have a list of questions, right? So I want for you to present. Your tone didn't suggest you were talking to an. Remember, you're not only talking to me, you're talking to an audience, okay?
Okay.
So you have to do it that way.
All right, we're writing to the human resource manager. And we write to increase staff motivations through training and development. What we hope to accomplish are for all staff in the public sector and private sector to be equipped to deal with any changes, such as technology that will assist in improving their skills, set to contributing to the success of the company. Sir?
Now, hold on. A colleague of mine is, this is why I'm so distracted. My colleague is talking to me because we're up for accreditation. God. Me too. What am I doing?
No, it's okay. I'm okay. Thank you. No, thank you. Give it to Daddy.
All right, so you are writing to, you said, to whom are you writing? This is the last time, you don't have to worry, no, I've finished the
The
conversation.
human resource manager.
So you're writing to the human resource manager or managers?
Managers.
Why are you writing to them?
To increase staff motivations.
No, I don't want you to read your thesis, I can read. Why are you writing to them?
Why are we writing to the managers?
The human resource managers, yes.
For the increase of motivation.
Do not read your thesis, I can read. Listen to my question. Notice the other group where they were able to answer me without reading their thesis. Why are you writing to human resource managers?
Just say shh.
And this is not only for you, Chantel. The other persons who are in your group should be able to chip in and answer the question. Or if any student want to assist you, any one of your classmates want to assist you, they can chip in and answer the question. Why are you writing to human resource managers?
So, I mean, for new, for new training, I mean,
there's no new training in your thesis, so you can't send for new training because your paper says reasons for, so there is no newness in
yes, sir. But when I'm saying to you, to increase the motivation throughout staff,
no, you're reading your thesis. No, you're reading your thesis. Yes. That's not why you're writing to human resource managers. Can anybody assist her? Where are the other group members? Can anybody assist her in terms of can anybody assist? Anybody wants to?
Sir, can I try?
Go ahead.
She might be writing to HR based on the fact that HR is responsible for, might be in charge of training as it relates to the companies. So HR is the ones that when you are employed, they are the ones that train you as it relates to your job description and all the training that you would need to carry out your task.
That's part. That's in part. Yes, anything else? Yes.
Sir, can be to boost productivity and to enhance the employees' performance.
Yes, I like that. And I think I heard a male voice as well. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So she can be writing to the HR, the managers or supervisors in charge to increase the morale, the motivation, and the training and development for the staff members in the workplace.
All right, what you said is a little bit convoluted, but I think you're kind of echoing what was said before. So one person rightly says that you're writing to the HR managers because they are fully responsible for training and development in the workplace. And that, of course, will affect productivity. All right. And then somebody mentioned about the overall morale of staff and so forth. So that's in part, why you're writing to the HR managers. I never wanted you to look at it in terms of just your thesis. In other words, you're writing to them because training and development is very important in the workplace. it's very important for there to be any sense of productivity, increasing productivity, staff morale, for persons to keep abreast of new trends and all of that. Training and development becomes very important. And we're treating them as a collective noun, training and development, treating them as a collective noun. In other words, we're treating them interchangeably. So do you understand now, Chantel?
Yes, sir. And thanks, classmates.
Yes, right. Because it is important for you to understand that in your mind. And when I say you, I mean your group members, so that when
Right.
you're, for example, selecting your evidence and when you're writing and the kinds of examples that you're using, then you can say, hold on, if it is that I really want to point out this to the HR managers, it means that this is a better example, this is a better source versus this source. In other words, these are the kinds of strategic decisions that you have to make as writers, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, no problem. So you want to show me, I think you wanted to show me something else. I think you wanted to show me your pieces of evidence or your reference list, or you were somewhere there about.
So it's the supporting, these are the supporting evidence for increasing employee motivation is one of the reasons for training and development in the workplace. And these are 3 supporting evidence.
Okay, all right. So let me just take a look at it. All right, go back to the, I need to be able to see the topic sentence though, in order to judge the, so increasing employee motivation.
No, it's okay, it's fine.
So the source that you're using is New Jersey Business and Industry Association, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so remove the full stop at performance. It must only be on the outside, okay?
Yes, sir.
Put it at the outside of the bracket of right there. So you need to correct it throughout the paper because you have in B and in C as well, because it's not correctly done. Have you corrected it throughout the paper? All right, so in the time, so increasing staff motivation. You can't use personal pronouns. Say your has to come out. You can't use personal pronouns. So you, your, we, us, our, none of those pronouns. On the third, on the C, when you say motivate, are you paraphrasing or you're directly quoting the sources? Remember, you're supposed to paraphrase, not directly
Was paraphrasing, sir.
All right, so I need to look back at these pieces of evidence. I think some are good and some are a little bit weak. Whenever you're using evidence, at least in one instance, you must say, for example, all right? There must be a for example or a for instance, because that is really what helps to drive home the point.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Emmanuel and group members. All right, Jason.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
All right, walk me through the paper.
All right, so my broad topic is ganja industry.
Do we get a good
My
night?
general topic.
Do we get a good night?
Oh, sorry. Good night, class. Answer. All right. So my broad topic is ganja industry.
Is it my
My
or
narrow
our?
topic is.
Is it my or our?
Or because it's a group thing.
Yes.
And our narrow topic is the advantages of decriminalizing ganja in Jamaica. And the question is, what are the advantages of decriminalizing ganja in Jamaica? The answer is there are several advantages of decriminalizing ganja in Jamaica. Our thesis is using ganja for medicinal treatments, anxiety reduction, and for boosting the economy are some of the advantages of decriminalizing ganja in Jamaica. All right, and our audience for this is lawmakers and for people in medicinal and for people in the medicinal field because they have different views on ganja and would like to change it. And we'd like to accomplish.
So hold on. Start from the top for me because you're going too fast and you're kind of breaking up. Your voice kind of breaking. So start from the top in terms of why are you writing, or that part I didn't get. Start again for me.
Oh, well, I'm writing.
I am.
Well, we are writing to try to get lawmakers and people in the medical field to realize that ganja is not just an illegal substance, but it also has many properties in the medical field, and that it
So there
has
are
many advantages.
there are medicinal and economic benefits.
Yes, sir.
Right. Continue.
And we are trying to look at ganja from a positive perspective. And that we are going to show lawmakers that it cannot, that even though it is legal, it can boost our economy so that we can make changes.
Boost our economy. How did you reach in it?
Pardon me?
It can reach our economy. How did you reach in it? I don't understand.
Oh no, it can boost our economy.
How did you reach in it? I don't know how did you reach in it? You need to say it can boost the Jamaican economy. You're supposed to talk from the third person perspective, never from the first person. Never put yourself in it.
Oh, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Oh, and yes, sir, it can boost the Jamaican economy.
You said that already. Move on. What's the other point? Was there another part that I asked you, or that was it? Just the audience and the purpose?
Yes, sir, that was it.
All right, scroll down for me. Let me see what you have, at least one of your topic sentence with the evidence. I think I looked at it. Have you made any additional work? Have you done any additional work on the evidence that is used?
Yes, sir. I said take out the contractions.
All right, let's see what you have.
Finished.
All right, go back to the top because you're scrolling. Go back to the top for me at least. Let me see one of the topic sentences. All right, so moving from, which one you want me to look at, sir? You're kind of scroll. I said one of the topic sentence with the evidence, sir.
Oh, sorry, the first one.
Right, where's the first? So using ganja for medicinal treatments. is one advantage of decriminalizing ganja in Jamaica. The sentence starts with a common letter. How come? I don't understand.
Oh, no, sir. It's capital.
Look at A for me, please, sir. Look at A.
Oh.
So the first one is not written as in academic language. It sounds very, it sounds like a commercial actually. Must relax and people swear. The word swear, highly promising, sounds very, you need to, if you're paraphrasing, you haven't done a very good job of it. Let me see B. B needs to be rewritten because you assume that the audience knows what FDA means. And you move from chemotherapy to jonabinol to treat these symptoms. I don't know which symptoms you're talking about. Let me see C. So for C, you need to say in a study done by Thompson 2020, it was discovered or participants noted that, or 9 out of 10 stated that marijuana was helped them to manage their pain, or arthritis patients or something helped them to manage their pain. And 4 in 10 said it decreased their reliance on other pain medication. Nearly 6 in 10 said cannabis products were more effective than other drugs. So the evidence is there, and the matter is how you're paraphrasing the evidence. I think that's the challenge. So this third one is very strong, but I think the evidence is the way you have phrased it.
All right, sir. So I'll change that.
Mm-hmm. Sutherland, did you and your group present?
Yes, sir. Carla presented earlier.
Okay. Casey Ferguson.
Sorry, that's my group.
Okay. Natoya Williams.
Yes, sir. Rakisha presented.
Nikita Allen, did you present?
Sir.
Roberto, did you present?
Yes, sir. Our group presented last week.
Okay. Shanette Bailey, did you present, or your group?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm in Nikita's group.
All right. Tana Shea Harris, did your group present?
No, sir.
All right, go ahead for me.
So I'm gonna have to log in on the system because I was on the road and I'm using a cell phone.
Where are your group members? It's not as if you're the only one in the group. They can.
There's a next person. I think her name is Leonie, and I.
Oh, she was not here. She was not in the last class.
No. So I had was to do it on my own. So I'm going to log in on the system.
Tasha,
Yes, I'm
Tasha,
listening. Who's that?
sorry, Tasha and I were supposed to work together. But as I said, we got the topic later, trying to put the things together. So when I wasn't able to give her the information that I have gathered, because I'm just going through the ones that I had researched to pick up the information.
All right, so next class you'll share, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, give me 1 second. I'm sending an email to the vice principal. Her name is Georgia. Is there any group that has not presented? All right, I take that as a no. All right, so we have exhausted actually this lecture. So it's a good thing I went back and listened because I would have wasted my time. We actually looked at all of that. So I think we are ready for the other one. Yeah, did all of that. This is the part that I'm not sure we did. All right, let's go back to that. All right, from current slide. All right. All right, so did we look at language strategies or organizational strategies? Did we look at that?
No, sir.
No, sir, we didn't.
All right, so this is where you're going to write for me. You're going to listen because I'm going to talk from my head actually. All right, so first let me, all right, hold on, let me give you a better version of this. I have it on my laptop. Did I save it? I saved it under, yeah, let me give you this first before I go any further. And then we do the discussion because the other class has started that part. Comes to this. Module 1. Oh, I need to tell, when are you guys doing the mid-semester? Oh, Jesus. I'm so caught up in this thing. I don't remember that you haven't done your mid-semester. Which is this? I haven't given you the mid-semester yet, right?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. I will remind me to show my notes. What the? So I'm going to share something in the WhatsApp. Can somebody say hi in the WhatsApp? You guys are, this is Wednesday, right? So you are this class. Yeah, I know which class this is. This is a class where the person is saying she's frustrated, right? Because she's not getting the link or something of the sort.
Sir.
Yeah, pass it on. The vice principal is going to address the matter. I sent it to her. So somebody should reach out to you by tomorrow. What the hell is this? Yeah. All right. Are you seeing the images in the WhatsApp group?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just take a minute to go through it for me. I'll give you 5 minutes to go through it so that when I begin talking, you'll be at least at minimum familiar with the content. All right. So what we're going to look at is what is called, or what are called, language strategies. And let me just share screen so that it can be a little bit easier. So it says, what are language strategies? Language strategies refer to how the information or how a piece of discourse, whether it be a persuasive piece, a narration, a description, an exposition, is organized and presented in the discourse. These include cause and effect, definition, simple or numbers listing, contrast, expert opinion or authoritative sources, short paragraphs, inductive or deductive reasoning, examples, illustrations, or anecdotes. Some of it might be repetitive. Cause and effect was said already. No, we're not looking at the use of sarcasm. And it's really a technique, not a strategy. Use of rhetorical question is a technique, not a strategy. Use of definition, we'll talk about this, the various types of definition. Evidence of research, which is not really an organizational strategy. It's really a language technique. Reference to expert opinion, it's more a technique than a strategy. Use of examples, this of course we will have to talk about, and inductive ordering. All right. So these are the various types of language strategies, and what they really mean is how a writer organizes the body of an essay. So like, for example, body paragraphs. How does the writer organize the body paragraph? Does the writer, for example, look at cause in one body paragraph and effects in another body paragraph, or does he or she look at both cause and effect in a body paragraph, or is that how the entire paper is organized? Definition, there are 3 types of definition, and you need to write this down, that there are 3 types of definition. Is it 3, or you probably have more? And as I said before, I'm not emailing my lectures, so you're going to write. You have simple definition. You have simple definition, you have a literal definition, which somewhat is simple. You have figurative, or imaginative. Imaginative definition.
Sir, I can hardly hear.
Could you just look in the WhatsApp group for me, please? You have technical definition. You have scientific definition. You have reverse definition. All right, tell me the types of definition you're seeing in the WhatsApp group, please, for the record.
Simple definition, literal definition, figurative or imaginative definition, technical definition, scientific definition, and reverse definition.
Okay, so these are the various types of definitions. So simple definition is just the basic meaning of a word or concept. And literal and simple are somewhat similar, but literal means just the same kind of basic definition, or the basic meaning of a concept or word. The figurative now is where there's a figure of speech being used to define a concept or term. For technical definition, these are usually found in the sciences, for example, physics and chemistry, engineering. You know, they have some very technical definition. Scientific definition are found in the sciences. For example, photosynthesis is a process by which green plants make food. Reverse definition now, and this one is interesting. It's when the meaning of a concept or a word is defined by stating what it is not. Let me repeat. It is when a word or concept is defined by stating what it is not. All right, listen to this example. Love is not hate. Love is not malice. Love is not murder. Love is none of these things. Have I defined love?
Not quite, but you're using the
You just
opposite
tell
for
what
me
it's
to.
not.
Did I define love?
No,
Sir.
You
So you
people are not
didn't.
learning. I just told you
Yes,
that.
sir, you define it,
Jesus
but you
Christ.
use
Sir,
the
using the
opposite.
Yes, sir, you
opposite.
Right.
just,
I just told you that reverse definition is telling you what the thing is not, and you're saying I didn't define
You're
it.
defining, sir, by saying what it's not.
Exactly. So I have
it's
defined
the
it.
opposite.
Right.
yes,
I have defined love by telling you what it is not.
the opposite of.
Right.
But sir, we still don't know what is love.
But I'm telling you what it is not. I as a writer or a speaker, I choose reverse definition. If you want a different type of definition, you go to a different speech. But in my speech, when you pay your money and come to my function, I am not going to use a literal definition or a figurative definition or a technical definition. I choose to use a reverse definition. If you don't like reverse definition, go and find a concert or a TED Talk that uses the other types of definition that you want. So you have
Yes.
So it is the opposite of what you just described.
No, I never said opposite. I defined it by stating what it is not.
Right. So in order for me to understand what it is, it would be the opposite of what you said it is not, right?
But you don't need to know what it is in order to understand reverse definition, because in reverse definition, I'm telling you what it is not. If I say to you, love is not hate, then clearly love is not hate. If I say it's not malice, I say it's not murder, then love, I am defining love for you. I'm just telling you what it is not. In other words, it is everything that is not this thing. Is it clear, or are you still not understanding? Yes.
Sir, you watch the movie when name you?
Yes.
You sound like the person that will write the movie right now.
Why?
Sir, I saw him talk. That's how him talk.
I am actually at season 3, but I find it to be quite redundant in the sense that once you have seen season 1, it's kind of, you have seen all the seasons.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
I have
but
watched
not
it to the
really, but
end.
it's very interesting.
It is very interesting to
Yes,
watch.
sir.
Yeah,
It's very
because
interesting.
it's a cycle.
So it's a yes, sir, but it's a complicated. And but me like how him explain himself, sir. Even though it's not
And
the
then he
norm. So
eventually
that's
find somebody like him.
right. So it's not the norm, you know.
No,
So
no, it's not
it's
same
like this
find
reverse.
somebody
hold
like
on. But you
it
are
is just
actually
that the person is revert is more, she's, I wouldn't say like him, but she's worse than him.
But
Yeah,
I think the point
like
though, in the context of the lesson though, I think it was he's a good example of reverse definition, because
Yes, sir.
he
That's
tends
what
to
I'm
define,
saying.
yes,
So
he
that's
tends to
why that's
define
why
everything by using reverse definition. He's a perfect example of
Yes,
a
sir.
person who uses a lot of reverse definition. I see
Same way.
Roberta's hand up. Go ahead, sir.
Sir, I understand what my fellow classmate would have asked you earlier, and I therefore reinforce by asking the question again. Because I don't think we can, as a student, can answer you using reverse definition. So is it a case where reverse definition can be used only in poetry or certain kind of writing?
No, it can be used in
All
expository
right.
writing. It
But
can
hear
be
me now,
used.
sir. Hear me now. If you ask a question and you say, for example, like you would have just used, what is love? And we say, love is not hate, love is not anger, love is not that. We still wouldn't have answered your question still, you know, because we still
You
didn't
would
give you a
have.
direction.
No, you would have, because it
Or
means
would I
that
leave it open for you to, we are inferring that, you know, we're not saying that it is, and we're not saying that it is not, we're giving you the opposite of it for you to draw from.
Right, exact. And there are instances in which reverse definition it becomes important. Give you another example outside of the movie. You think about a woman who's with a man, or a man with a woman who is experiencing domestic abuse, and she gets the black eye, she loses a tooth, she's kicked, she loses a child because she's constantly being beaten, and in her mind that is love. And you're trying to get her to psychologically understand that this is not love. So you, as a psychologist or the social worker, says to her, love is not kicking her in your face, love is not thumping you when you're pregnant, love is not cheating on you, love is none of these things. You are actually defining love for her, because you're defining it in the context of her experiences. So the definition of the reverse definition, of course, is based on context. It's not that you're going to just arbitrarily use it. All right.
All right. I
And that's
learned
what,
something tonight. I learned
right.
something
And that's why it's called strategy, because it means that you're deploying it or using it in a particular way to achieve a particular purpose. So it's not that you're just going to get up and use reverse definition every and in any way and in every piece of writing. And this is why at the beginning you were talking discourse modes, because a reverse definition might be more appropriate in argumentation versus an expository paper. You see what I mean? So it depends on, and this is why again I ask you, who's your audience? What is your purpose? And then, because if you use reverse definition, and I said to you, but if you are really there to educate these persons who, some of whom don't know anything about this thing, reverse definition might not be the best thing to use.
Yeah, exactly. Wonderful. So that's what I was getting across.
Yeah, man, it's not that you can just use it willy-nilly. Any of these strategies, you can't just use them in every and any way. They have to be appropriate. All right.
Okay, sir, affirmative.
Yes. All right. The other thing, so, you know, I think I mentioned about cause and effect. So in terms of simple or numbers listing, there are times when people list things. So you might say, I go to the market, I buy yam, banana, throw, this and that and that. In a scientific paper, you might list all of the symptoms that are associated with a particular illness. All right. It could be that the listing now helps you to provide context to the reader in terms of the discussion or the examples that are going to be used or that are being used. All right. Understand that in terms of the simpler numbers listing. Hello.
Repeat the question, sir. You talk really fast.
No, I'm saying in terms of the explanation I gave for simpler or numbers listing. Is it clear?
Well, to me, yes.
Okay. What do we mean by contrast? What is contrast?
Like a comparison, sir?
No. It's not a comparison. Contrast shows what? Contrast shows
difference.
Contrast shows difference. Comparison shows
similarity. No.
Right. So similarities.
Contrast could it be show like association?
Contrast shows differences.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the difference between A and B or the differences between A's and B's. Comparison shows similarities between A and B or A's and B's. They're not the same things. So it could be that a writer, for example, the paper might just be showing contrasts. So the writer is showing you the contrast between this action versus this or whatever. All right, we're not going to rely on expert opinion or short paragraphs or
Sir, I can ask a quick question. You can just relay the simple or numbers listing, please.
Okay. As I said before, in terms of the simpler numbers listing, there are instances in which a writer might just list, for example, the symptoms of a disease, or I go to the market and I buy this, I buy that, or they might say, for example, in order to maintain safety in the workplace, a technical team might need to purchase 2 marbles, treats, hammer, 10 books, 5 chairs, and all of that, and then say these things are then put together to ensure that accidents don't happen. I'm just giving you some very kind of made up examples, but numbers listing is just really where the writer lists a number of things. Of course, it has to be relevant within the context of the paper. All right.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. All right. So not all of this is important for your paper. So I'll skip over the ones that are not. So examples, illustrations, or anecdotes are important. And I've always said to students, in at least under each topic sentence, you must have at least 1 or 2 examples. So when you have the source or whatever, there must be a case where you say, for example, or you say, for instance, because many times that's how it becomes very clear. So the example becomes the evidence. So another term that is used with examples, illustration, or anecdotes are, and I'm going to put it in the WhatsApp group. It's called exemplification. Exemplification. You have typical, hypothetical, and what's the other example? Yeah, typical, specific. Getting old. All right, so the typical, hypothetical, and specific. So yeah, there are different types of examples, or there are three main types of examples: typical, hypothetical, and specific. Well, it's really specific, typical, then hypothetical. So a hypothetical example is an example that is made up. Fair enough? Because anything hypothetical is made up, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. And we know that hypothetical examples play a very fundamental role, especially in court. Like when you're trying to, the prosecution or defense is making an argument. So they might say, jury, members of the jury, just think about this. Pretend you were born in X and Y and da 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 da. The specific example now is where the instance is very specific in nature. So you're talking about Mary Jane in the blue shirt who walked down the road and went into the room. That's very specific. A typical example now is a specific example that has happened repeatedly to the point where it becomes typical. So when you leave young people like a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old at home unsupervised for a long period of time, what are some of the things that possibly might happen? I am listening.
So them invite over friends.
They might invite over friends.
Might go to a friend's house.
Might go to a friend's house.
They watch porn.
They might watch porn. So we know that these are the typical behaviors of teenagers. So sometimes when I hear parents cuss and say, "Me left you the yard and you don't know," and I'm like, "But what do you expect? You leave an unsupervised teenage boy or girl. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to, just like even young, a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old. If you have to supervise them and they get very quiet, be worried. Once they get very quiet, you know that they're destroying something, either to themselves or to the house. When you go around, they throw the entire paint, or they paint up themselves or something like that. So those would be examples of a typical example. The other ones now, cause and effect, of course, where a writer might organize the entire paper, looking just at the cause. I'm sure some persons might have, for your narrow topic, causes of the spread of chikungunya in Jamaica. And some people, another paper might look at the chikungunya on the Jamaican economy, or the effects of COVID-19 on the Jamaican economy or the world economy. That actually could be a paper. We don't, for sarcasm or rhetorical questions, really use those in more persuasive and psychological persuasive discourses. We spoke about definition already. We don't necessarily have to look at evidence of research, and we spoke about examples. We don't want the question and answer format. That is more, again, in psychological writing or persuasive writing. So we don't really use that for that. And this is now an example of how, in terms of an explanation of language strategies, which is where the sources are going to come in, or where you're going to identify a specific source and talk a little bit about the organizational strategies, at least 3 organizational strategies that are used. So that is the homework. Let me just tell you the homework from now that I actually spoke it into being. What's the homework again?
Sir, say that again, please. I didn't hear you. I don't see your homework.
Can somebody tell me what is the homework I just studied? Nobody heard the homework? Or you deliberately didn't hear the homework?
I didn't hear the homework.
So the homework is that you're going to choose any one of your sources and identify 3 language strategies and explain how they help the writer to achieve his or her purpose. And you also have to talk to me about the relevance of the source to your topic sentence. In other words, how do you intend to use the source in your paper?
Sir?
Sir, go again.
Sir, are you going to put that on Canvas or something?
Sir, you talk real fast.
Sir, you can write it in the group, please, because you're going really fast.
Fast, yes, sir.
All right, let me write it down. So for homework,
Oh, sorry, can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
It's not sure if related to this topic though. Like if somebody writes you a message and you actually read that message in a tone, like, you know, you could read it like how the person was probably feeling or talking. What is that?
So say it again.
All right, somebody sends you a text message.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when you read the message, you read it in a tone as if this is how the person actually said the message.
Mm-hmm.
Like what is that? You know, I think I always have issues with that.
So is it that you read it in the way it ought to be read?
Sometimes, most times it is like just how the message is saying. I don't know how.
Writer's tone. You're talking is either the speaker or the writer's tone. So in other words, it's the writer's tone is the feeling evoked. So the way, oh, you define it again. Oh, this is something I usually define from my head. The tone is the feeling of the writer, right? The tone is the feeling of the writer towards his or her subject matter. So when you read, if you read it in the right tone, does the writer seem angry, frustrated, in love, compassionate, sympathetic? And it's actually a good question because even in terms of writing, if somebody sends you a message and you don't realize that they're angry, then there's a problem. If somebody sends you a message and you don't realize that they are hurt, then there's a problem. In other words, you should be able to pick these things up based on the diction. And I'm going to teach you some terms. I don't reach in those lectures yet. Based on the diction of the writer. The words will indicate, you know, sadness or sympathy or joy or whatever it is. All right, let me just finish sending the.
Okay, sir, thank you.
You're welcome. So choose any one of your sources and identify 3 language strategies and explain how each helps the writer achieve his or her purpose. Finally, state the relevance of the source to your thesis / topic sentence and how you intend to use it in your paper. Ignore all typos. I've earned the right to make errors. All right, so this is an example of how you would respond. So you might say the writer includes a definition of prohibition to explain the concept to readers who might be unfamiliar with it and establish the context background of alcohol use in Jamaica or in the United States. And there are other instances of how you can do that, all right? We can do an example together. What time is it? Let's do an example together. Okay, oh, I can actually do some more explanation with some of these things based on my lecture. All right, go back to, right, so we spoke about them. So some people call them organizing principles, language strategies, organizational strategies is the same thing. This is analysis. It says dividing subject into various parts to explain how it works. So when you analyze something, you break it up into various parts and explaining how it works. Cause and effect, we kind of spoke about the cause and effect, why something happens or the reasons to explain what happens. So some people might be doing a paper on reasons for, or, you know, things like that, causes of things like that. This is, let me move this thing. Classification or division, where the writer might put things into people or things into groups or parts. So you have introverts versus extroverts. Can you think of another set of grouping, like how we group either people or places or concepts? How else do we group? What other examples of classification can you think about?
Urban versus rural.
Yes, urban versus rural. We can say black versus white. We can say Jamaican versus American versus Canadian. We can say heterosexual, homosexual, we can say LGBT, we can say heterosexual. So there are different groupings. We can say doctors who are physicians versus doctors who are academics. So there are various ways of how we group things. So there might be a reason for grouping. So if your paper, for example, you might be looking at chronic illnesses and you have a definition of chronic illnesses and give examples, that's an example of grouping a type of disease. All right.
Vaccination and unvaccinated.
Right, vaccinated versus unvaccinated, and we know that there's a big debate about that in Jamaica right now about persons who are vaccinated and those who are not, and all kind of stuff. All right. Comparison, contrast, and I did mention this, that comparison means to show similarities and contrast means to show differences. And again, these are other classifications of definition by synonym, extended, illustrative, negative. Negative is the same thing as reverse definition. And stimulative, I can never remember stimulative from memory. So let me look it up. Stimulative definition, stipulative, sorry. Stipulative definition. Let me see. Okay, so a stipulative definition is a type of definition in which a new or currently existing term is given a new specific meaning for the purposes of argument or discussion. So for example, rainbow. Originally, we know rainbow, we're talking about, you know, the colors in the sky when there's rain, and there's a scientific definition. I know there's a kind of definition of rainbow now being the colors of a particular movement. Can you think of any other definition where there's an existing mouse, for example? So mouse was originally a kind of rodent. Now mouse is also associated with technology.
What about apple?
Is apple one?
Yes, apple would be one. So originally it's just a fruit. Now apple is now a brand. So those are examples of that, of stipulative. Illustration, and I think let's just look at what they say for illustration. And we spoke about it. So illustration / exemplification, clarification of a thesis or subject through typical cases or examples that illustrate it, involves arrangement from general to specific. As we explain what that means. Examples used to help clarify or explain or represent a general statement. Material may be statistics, opinions of experts or authorities. Examples are anecdotes, and perhaps the most commonly used is the development strategy in paragraph explaining with examples. And that is, I kind of spoke to some of that, so I am able to move a little faster. Process analysis, this is where you explain something, explain a process, explaining how a process works. For example, the process of making wine, the process of making love, the process of making beer, versus another way of looking at it. Well, it's not really process analysis, but it's really what is called sequencing, is where information is provided in step-by-step way. This is why you see that man walking on the step. So sequence is here, so they call it sequencing, where you're explaining how things is, what happens first, second, third, like a manual. You know, if you get like a manual to fix how to operate your washing machine, that's an example of even narration. So chronology, sequencing, and narration kind of go hand in hand. And these are the other ones. The analogy, no, how do I normally define analogy? It is really a comparison between two unlike things. So analogy, an example of analogy is metaphor and simile. Let me make sure that I'm correct. Sometimes I forget these things. I'm not sure my definition is correct, but let me just double check. Purpose, I did that already. Right. Let me
An example of an analogy?
say that again.
You're talking about analogy, right?
Yeah.
Or isn't it the comparison between two things?
Yeah, but it has there's another component to it, unless I'm right. Oh, I'm mixing it up with no one. Hold on. There's something that I always keep forgetting when I'm explaining analogy. I knew there is something I am missing. I am almost sure. Where would I save it? Let's see this. Purpose, we did that already.
Comparison of two unlike things that have some similarities. Something like that.
Yeah, well, the best examples of that is metaphors and similes. So let's leave it at that for analogy. I think there is another thing that I'm thinking about, but I don't know, it's not coming to my mind right now. It's not coming to my mind right now, so let me leave it alone. I try to teach from my head. Sometimes my brain doesn't work as the memory lapses, you know, I'm getting old, so it doesn't always work for me. Where is my, are you seeing my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, so, all right, so are there any questions? Any questions? We just looked at the language strategies, or they call organizational strategies or organizing principles, however, you know, want to define it. Any questions, comments, queries, concerns?
This one we're due Monday, right, sir?
Yes, I want it on Monday.
Oh, Jesus.
You're gonna push it on to Thursday, please.
No, we need to do it on Monday.
Yeah, midterm.
When do we have midterm?
Different class tomorrow.
Oh, Jesus.
Then you have the weekend. Come on, you have the weekend.
Where we have whole heap of stuff where we have whole heap of project.
I tell you,
So hold on.
a lie.
I must put my stuff on the back burner for other lecturers. That's what you're saying?
No,
because I am not important.
Not like that, sir.
Sorry, it's two exam tomorrow, no, sir. No long metal is that tomorrow, sir.
I'm happy for you guys. You know, I've been through the wilderness.
Very at teach right now, and trust me, all me can think psychology.
I understand. All right, so we can do it on Wednesday. So Wednesday. All right, on Wednesday. So what we'll do on Monday, we'll look at 2 examples or so in terms of analysis. And then by Wednesday, you should be able to do that. And then we move on into some other things, all right? Because we haven't done, even though I've taught APA, I have to reteach it because persons join the class much later. So I have to go back through all of that.
I was just about to mention that. So.
Yeah, man, I'm going to reteach it.
I was one of the late bugs.
Yeah, I'm going to reteach it. So I'm going through my lectures. So I'm at lecture 3. So when we come on Monday, I'm going to do lecture 4, then lecture 5, then lecture 6, then lecture 7, and so forth until because the course ends, semester 1 ends about the end of January. So we have some time. All right, guys. So have a good night. If you have no questions.
Yes, sir. One question for you.
Yes.
I hear you saying midterm. What would our midterm look like?
So the midterm would be about remember we spoke about communication. So remember I said to you that it would be like identifying a channel and medium and then writing a speech. But when I'm going to set the midterm, we're going to do a kind of practice question in class and then you do the exam.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or anything? Anybody else?
So when is the exam, sir?
I'll tell you the next class.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want you guys to focus on the paper that you're working on. I'm not really into this test business. This course is not really a test. When we teach it at UWI, we don't ask students to sit in a room and do a test. We try to avoid the sit in a room because this is really a writing course and you're writing it over time and really want you to grasp the skills. It's not really, and some students don't even function very well under exam condition. Janelle, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
That's true, sir. That's true.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, my question, sir, on the platform of Canvas, right? There's a section in your part where whenever person do the ECC orientation thing or the literature APA thing, we normally get a badge, right? So I've done the ECC where I've got my badge, but sir, I'd have to upload it on your platform on the communication one, but it's not open where I can get to upload it on your section.
All right, we soon get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay, sir.
All right. Yeah, because it values 5. I'm giving everybody 5 marks once you complete the badge. Once you get a badge, you're getting 5 marks. All right, so we'll get to that. That is something that is not as major as the other things in terms of priority. All right, any other questions, comments, queries, concerns?
No, sir. Good night.
All right, have a good night. Yes?
Sir, before I go, sir, the homework that I give is in group, right?
Yes, yeah, man, it's group work. You're working in the same groups. You're working in the same groups.
Oh, the same group from ever since.
Right, right. So,
Okay, sir, have a great night.
All right, you too.
Yeah, good night. You too.
All right, bye everybody. I'm going to end the class now.
All right,
So once
good
I
night,
end it,
sir.
yes.
Bye.
Bye.